And he proceeds to tell us the true story of Cocaine Bear.
Oh, no way.
And that it is now stuffed and on display somewhere in, I think, Chattahoochee.
Hey guys, welcome back to It Takes Two. I'm Quinlan,
And I'm Emily.
and today we're talking about an awesome movie, okay?
So good. It's
I'm
so
just
good.
we'll just put it awesome right now. We're you don't even gotta wait to hear our thoughts. Awesome. Bum bum bum. Cocaine Bear.
I didn't have high hopes for this movie. I thought it was gonna be like, I mean, it was a cheesy comedy, but it was so much higher quality than I expected it to be.
Yeah, so I absolutely adore cheesy comedies. It's one of the stupid comedies are one of my favorite movies. Like 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street, This Is the End, like those type of raunchy, terrible comedies. Those are what I like. So I figured I was gonna like this one a lot, and I do.
You know what? I feel like a telltale though was when it first started introing and we got the like intro slate of credits.
Uh-huh.
It was directed by Elizabeth Banks. Automatically, it was gonna be good.
It was gonna
Like,
be good.
I love her.
Yeah, I mean, we'll tell you more about the movie, obviously, but I mean, if you want to stop now and go watch it, it was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, then come join back in with the laughs. So my experience with this movie started before we even got to the theater. We
Okay.
took an Uber there because it was like storming here, and I was like, I don't want to deal with it. Whatever.
Yeah.
And we get in the car. The guy's like, "Oh, you're going to the movies? What are you seeing?" And we're like, "He's like Ant-Man." We're like, "No,
No.
Cocaine Bear."
Hmm.
And he proceeds to tell us the true story of Cocaine Bear.
Oh, no way.
Yes, and that it is now stuffed and on display somewhere in, I think, Chattahoochee.
No way.
But
That
this
is
man
so
talked
cool.
for like 20 minutes about Cocaine Bear, and I was like, I think I've seen the movie already.
I think I've seen it already. No, that's funny. That was he old, so he knew or what?
No, he was like maybe 35.
Oh, so he wasn't alive when that all went down.
No.
Oh, what the hell? I thought that would have been cooler. He
Nope.
remembers back
Nope.
in my day when the cocaine bear was real. He just knew about cocaine bear no matter
He was like, yeah, I'm an actor. I know a lot about film.
okay. Props to the Uber driver, I guess.
Yeah, I was like, wow. The intro to the movie?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I already saw this. He explained the whole thing in great detail to
In
us.
great detail. My a little bit about my movie experience before we get into this. Um, this was the most packed movie I have been to in years.
It was wild.
Including pre-COVID, pre-everything. This is top 10 most crowded movies I've ever been to.
Wow.
And I was like, how? This movie of all things, Cocaine Bear, that's what everybody, yeah. So packed. Also, terrible movie neighbors. They must have just forgot how the movie worked. It was pissing me off. Oh my gosh, Pacey. He almost went off on the people behind us.
Oh.
Um, they repeated almost every line that they said in the movie.
Who does that?
They repeated it straight up, or if something was happening, they would narrate what was happening. Oh look, they're gonna grab that as they grabbed it, and I was like, okay, we all saw it.
We're all here watching this together. You don't need to narrate it out loud to us.
No, and then he was kicking our seats, and
Oh no.
it was so annoying. So all around terrible movie experience. I would have been way happier had we had a different theater, but all around, yeah, great movie. Loved the movie.
People don't know how to act in movies anymore. It's wild.
I just don't get it. I'm like, how can you sit there and kick our chair the entire time and not realize you're doing it?
That happened the other
Like,
day when we went and saw Puss in Boots. There was just like a group of teenagers behind us.
these weren't teenagers.
Like adults.
like 45, 50-year-old couple sitting behind us, kicking our seats.
You're old enough to know better.
Yeah.
You don't put your feet on the seat in front of you unless there's no one there.
Unless there's
Movie
no one there.
etiquette.
Oh yeah, and then the people in front of us had their seat, or they had their feet up on the seats in front of them, and there were people sitting in those seats.
Ew.
I was like, I would not have sat there had like that
No.
actually, like I couldn't sit with someone's feet on my head. Like that's messed up.
Yeah,
Like
no.
it was all around terrible movie experience. But movie 10 out of 10. Yeah. So I'll just read a little bit about the movie. It's obviously pretty self explanatory, but after a 500-pound black bear consumes a significant amount of cocaine and embarks on a drug fueled rampage, an eccentric gathering of cops, criminals, tourists, and teenagers assemble in a Georgia forest. That is the summary.
Is it in Georgia?
I guess so. Who knows?
I
Here, there's another summary. It says Georgia Forest in the summary. An oddball group of cops, criminals, tourists, and teens converge on a Georgia forest where a huge black bear goes on a murderous rampage after unintentionally ingesting cocaine. I think the bear intentionally ingested that cocaine, homie.
He really. Well, maybe not at first.
Yeah, but still.
That bear was wild, but like the CGI was so good.
It was phenomenal. I was shocked like the entire time how like real the bear looked. Like I never once was like, "Oh, this is so bad I have to like you can tell it's not a real bear," or you can tell like
Yeah.
just so much of it was so high quality and so well done that it's just like I never once was taken out of the fact that like what like how could you let that slide,
Yeah.
but like the whole thing was great.
It was just so good, and it was so wild, and it wasn't as predictable as I thought it was gonna be.
No, it really wasn't. It kept just like taking turns that I wasn't expecting, and things kept changing and moving around, and I was like it didn't go exactly how I thought it was going to. Like after seeing the previews, I kind of like got a sense that I kind of knew what was happening in this movie.
Yeah.
But they did a really good job of like scrambling all those clips together to make them like not make any sense whatsoever once you see them like actually in the movie. Like it was very well done. The trailer movie, like it really got you good.
I know, I'm like, I don't even know what parts to talk about because it was all like so good and so well done.
I can tell you my favorite quote from the movie.
Okay.
Okay. So my favorite quote is, "Are my buds dead?" He's like, "Aw, are my buds dead?"
I loved that kid and how self-aware he was when like he
Of
went to
everything.
stand up in the bathroom and he was like, "Oh, I put my hand in a urinal."
Yeah, no, it was so funny. I I was cracking up. So like when they say like oddball characters or some like eccentric group of characters, like they really do mean it. Like these groups of characters are just something else.
You have like drug lords, park rangers, a detective cop with a little dog, two kids and a mom.
A bad cop. Yeah, some kids, like two like what would you say, like Swedish
Norwegian? Yeah.
Norwegian tourists. Like you've got just this crazy amount of characters, crazy different backgrounds of people, and it's so funny that the way that like each of those things play out. It's hilarious.
And it was that guy's, I forget what is his name. It was Ray Liotta's last film as well before he passed.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As I think.
Okay.
I'm not positive on that.
Uh-huh.
My Uber driver said it was, so obviously it's a fact.
It's a fact. The Uber driver said so. Um we believe the Uber driver. Yeah, well, I was gonna say about like so the people, the cast, like the actual actors and actresses.
Mhm.
It's really funny. Like when you look at the cast list, this movie is now like top two. Like there's every single one of these actors is like second best movie or first best movie,
Wow.
and it's just not something you would think that would have made it that high up on everybody's list.
No,
Like,
especially because everyone was like very recognizable from things.
and that's another thing is like there are people like a lot of these people are like people you recognize but don't like you can place them in other things, but you can't really like you don't know all of these people, you
You
know?
don't name them per se, but you recognize them as like secondary characters.
So yeah, I felt like you could totally place these people in other things, but they weren't like people you know the name of right off the top of your head, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it totally made sense like going through each of their like lists of movies and stuff and seeing that this is now like number 1 or number 2 on like almost every single person's list. Like
Yeah.
that was crazy cuz I feel like it's just such a random movie.
It was just random and like lots of bear murder and
Mhm.
commu can't forget the ambulance and the EMTs.
Oh, and that's another thing that I really liked about this movie was that they never played on race. Like even this is a 70s movie. I feel like a lot of movies focus too much on like trying to be accurate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like does
They
that
just
make
cast
sense?
funny people.
They casted funny people. They didn't regardless of race or anything like that, gender, whatever.
Because it
It
didn't
was
play into it
yeah, and I feel like a
it didn't
lot of
play into it either way of like,
no matter
oh, they
what.
have to be or they can't
Yeah.
be.
They can't be or whatnot. So I thought that was cool because like I feel like a lot of times some movies get hung up on like trying to be accurate to the time or whatever. Like it didn't need to be.
Mm-mm.
It's a funny story about the 70s and a bear getting on cocaine. Like it didn't need to be accurate to anything.
No, and it's like it didn't even have to take place in the 70s
Mm-mm.
other than they didn't have like smartphones and stuff or even
Exactly.
cell phones, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was another thing that I noticed was just like the like obviously it was take place in the 70s, so the lack of technology is obviously there, but their wardrobes like cracked me up because like some people were obviously 70s.
Like the mom.
Other, like the mom, like her hot pink jumpsuit.
Yeah.
But then like other people like it just didn't quite make sense
Like the
for the
drug dealer in
70s.
just his like jersey. It was like you could be from now with your sneakers
Yeah.
and your jersey.
No, literally Pacey called that guy eBay Ice Cube. And I was
I
like,
see it.
I totally see it. Like straight up like are we there yet? Like Ice Cube
Yeah.
age. Like that. And I just so some of the like fits really did not match like what you would expect the 70s to be. So this movie had so many like inaccuracies, but it really didn't care and it didn't make a difference. Like
No.
we weren't here for any of that. We were here for this bear on a rampage.
But you can't forget the little cubs playing in the cocaine too. They were
No,
adorable.
that was so cute. And I thought that was another great thing was like we're I don't know about anybody else, but the whole time I'm like everyone's like that bear like he does this, like I can't believe he's eating this cocaine, like he's going to kill all these people. And then the bear like dies, like ODs almost
Yeah.
on top of this guy. And they're like she and he's like what do you mean she? Like how can you tell? And he's like her vagina's on my ear. Okay, that was weird. But
Yeah, it was, and I was like, this doesn't proportionally make sense.
no, like because where she landed and where he landed
Yeah.
on top, it didn't make any sense. But they found out that the bear was in fact a girl, and then later they threw it on us that she's a mama bear. So like, not only was she like crazy because of the cocaine, but she was like crazy mama bear status too. So she was going ham on these people.
It was so gory, but like in a great way.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't even think it was that like there were some parts that were like really fleshy,
Yeah.
like Margot Martindale's like ass cheek when it got just like bah, and it was like so fleshy looking.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's gross. And then like the gunshot to the head, like there were some spots,
Yeah.
but it didn't dwell on it. Like it didn't make it drag it out or anything.
Or
It
like
was
when
more
they
just
ate Ray Liotta's, like, insides. Like, you saw the intestines come out, but, like, they
Yeah.
didn't focus on it.
It wasn't like they were trying to drag it out to make you focus on the gore. So it still had that gore, like, scare factor, but it wasn't just about the gore.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very well done. You know, it was crazy.
I know, I feel like we can't dwell too much on, like, the actual plot, because we love predicting movies, and we were kept guessing, so if we
Yeah,
spoil the fun things...
exactly. So don't want to like go into every detail about all of it, but
No, the characters are fun, we'll tell you about the characters. You're not getting any plot details out of us.
yeah, no, exactly. I think just the group of characters that they picked, absolutely hilarious. The acting was phenomenal. Everyone played such great like hillbillies or, you know, drug dealers, and so it was great. It was fantastic.
To summarize this in one line, it is a drug-filled 70s storm of pure gore and comedy excitement.
Oh damn, that was good. Emily knows a thing or two about a thing or two.
You know, I know a couple things about a lot of nothing, so
So
it's gotta
perfect.
pay off sometimes.
Yeah. No, it totally does. Perfect. It's perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself. It was just funny. I mean, the kid, like even the little kids were great actors. Like
They weren't just like, oh, children in a movie. Like, they had some
no,
snappy lines and were full on acting as much as anyone else this whole time.
cuz it calls them teens, so they might be like 13, but they're
Yeah.
kids. Like they're not really teens. There are teens though. They're like that three group of
The
boys that
teen
get
thugs.
the teen thugs, like so they might be like 17, 18, but then there's like the kids that are like maybe 13, you know? Like
Yeah.
so yeah, we've got a crazy group of people here.
And a
A
lot of
crazy bear
cocaine.
and a lot of cocaine. I just okay. One thing I want to talk about is
Mhm.
when they ate the cocaine. When the
Okay,
kids
yeah.
ate the cocaine, I was dying. I had like they like totally like took a spoonful. It was a knife, but a full scoop of cocaine and just ate it.
And then they were both like, this is the grossest thing we've ever had in our lives.
Yeah, literally, and they spit it all out, and then it never showed them high
But they definitely should have been. At
because
least a
people take
little.
like a tiny little and they're done. You know,
I
like
wonder
you couldn't
how
have
it
got
works,
all of it
though.
out of your mouth.
But how does it work when you eat it versus, like, inhale it? Because I know that's how
People
they...
rub it on their gums. That's how some people get high.
I thought that's how they just, like, tested the quality. I don't know how
Nope,
this
they
works.
just they slurped it up in their gums.
Well, they definitely ate enough to be high, so...
They definitely, and so we never saw them high, which was kind of weird, but I
To be
guess it
fair, we
makes
didn't see them
sense.
very much right after that happened, either. Because
Yeah,
the bear came for them, and then they were just like, next character.
it kept you guessing the whole time because, like, you'd be following these two or three characters, they'd go off into the woods this way. Then another set of two or three would go off this way. And then sometimes you would think they're going to cross paths right here. No,
Never.
never. And then they'd go the right way or the opposite way, and then bam, people would meet up, and you're like, what? Like,
Immaculate.
it was just every which way. You never knew what was coming next.
I feel like that's a decent... Our movie episodes are always shorter, because we
And then
never
this
want
is
to, like,
9.
spoil it. Like, some movies we can talk about the plot more, but this plot
Yeah.
was so good, it's like, what are we going to talk about?
Yeah, we don't want to spoil it. We just want it to be authentic.
That's the hard part about our movie reviews, is we never know what's going to be good going into this. And the good ones are shorter episodes because we have nothing to complain about and feel bad spoiling it.
Yeah, we don't want to like ruin it for you. We want you to feel like, yes, we did watch this movie, obviously. Yes, we like this movie, and yes, we want you to go see it. So why would we tell you the whole thing? You know?
You didn't come to us to watch us actually break down movies like I'm
Yeah.
still in film school. No.
No.
You came
We
to
saw
laugh
a
with us.
critique. It's not a critique.
No.
We don't do those no more.
Did we ever?
Well, we had to in our one film class that I took with you.
I think I lost you.
Critique those films, Emily.
Oh. What just happened?
Did you hear what I said?
No.
Oh, I was saying I did have to critique those films when we took that one film class together.
Yes, when I made you take a film class with me.
So we did critique films at one point.
We did. We really did.
But now we just come here to tell you how awesome it is, or how terrible it is.
But now you know we're both highly educated in international cinema.
International cinema. So if that show tells you anything, that international cinema, that's where my knowledge lies, I guess.
Yes, it does, in German expressionism and Bollywood film.
Yes, that's where my expertise is, okay?
Specifically Bollywood.
Specifically Bollywood, okay? I starred in a Bollywood film. So did Emily. We were stars, okay?
That will never see the light of day. Never. Never.
I have it. I do have it.
So do I.
I have it.
I will hurt you if
I'll
ends up on the
pictures.
internet.
I'll leak some pictures.
Maybe we can put screenshots in, but you're not watching us dance.
Oh, that's so bad. Nobody needs to see it.
Hear me out. We only insert the clips of Kenna.
Kenna did look really good in it.
She did. She looked so majestic, and then we're just like her backup dancers.
So when I say we were the star, we were not the star. No. So.
We were wearing some cigarette burned Goodwill pants.
And my Goodwill tag fell off mid-movie, and we left it in. You could see it fly away in the wind.
I'm not saying this was the highlight of my film career, but it was pretty good.
But it's worth talking about.
It's something, alright.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I need to go delete all traces of that exist anywhere.
I am gonna leak some pictures of it so everybody can see.
Oh, great. With that, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace out, Cub Scout.